We're online.
Thank you, Julia. Good day, everyone, morning or afternoon, depending where you are, and welcome to our webinar on managing electronic communications in a fragmented era. As we said in our invite, we have a lot of challenges now, and one of the global pandemic challenges is how to ensure compliant processes in an era of fragmented systems, and how to keep your e-communications compliant in turbulent times. My name is Henrietta Todorova, and I'm heading a team of account managers in Austria, Hungary, and the Balkan countries for Refinitive. And today, with two distinguished speakers and colleagues of mine, we will be discussing the FX Global Code adoption, the operational challenges for the FX market, the evolution of e-communication channels, and how this e-communication as a channel has become a fundamental to the trading community as data insights. We will also focus on the post-trade solutions for remote access. Before I present you the speakers, let me just say a few housekeeping topics. First of all, in order to get the best of this webinar, please turn on your volumes of the devices you're using so that you can hear us loud and clear. You can ask questions throughout the entire presentation time. Please use the button at Q&A at the bottom of the screens. So anytime you're welcome to ask questions. At the end of the presentations, we will open for questions, and all of the things that you have submitted through the Q&A will be answered by the speakers. Let me now introduce the speakers. Vincenzo Di Mase, my colleague, he is a Global Sales Readiness Director for EMEA at Refinitive. He's very well known as a subject matter expert on regulatory topics, such as MiFID, EMIR, IBOR reform, and the FX Global Code, as he presented and moderated at several prominent industry workshops and conferences across all of Europe. In Italy, where he's originally from, Vincenzo leads the Regulations Commission, the largest financial markets association in Italy, where he is one of the association's teachers. He also manages the launch of the FX Global Code Public Register for ASIOM Forex, the largest financial market association in Italy. He's a social media influencer and a New York City marathon finisher. Vincenzo also holds a degree in business administration from the famous Bocconi University. Our second speaker is my colleague Wojciech Trustowski. He is based in Poland. He is a proposition sales and post-trade and compliance at Refinitive. Wojciech is covering the entire Central and Eastern Europe region with a laser focus on post-trade integrations and compliance. He joined Refinitive 10 years ago as a trusted customer advisor responsible for technological strategy at the largest customers in Poland and Romania. Prior to that, he was working as an engineer at Thales, a well-known French electronics concern, supplying systems and products using land transport, aviation, military, and aerospace. And he was responsible for designing and implementing large IT systems, including systems for secure communication between the banks. So they will be presenting today. Vince, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Henrietta. Good morning, and everyone, and again, welcome to this webinar. I'm delighted to be with you today. For the next few minutes, I would like to guide you through some of the key trends of the current scenario, impacted obviously by the pandemic, which has designed a new normal, fragmenting the way we work and live. In such a context, technology played and plays a big role. And so I think it makes sense to explore how electronic communications have accelerated their evolution with the related challenges and opportunities, as also Henrietta mentioned, and how important it is to reduce operational risks with simplified trading and post-trade architectures in order to be more agile and achieve the required level of agility, right, and flexibility in the current scenario. And if we focus on some of the key trends, just some in this slide, actually, I think we agree we trade across more venues than we used to do a few years ago in a market which was tested against additional volatility, especially in March, and the need to maintain operational continuity due to the pandemic. Such agility and resiliency come with an investment for sure, but also with an eye on cost optimization, because resources are not endless, right? And so we need to look at how to optimize costs, reducing IT footprint, adopting hosting or outsourcing solutions, but also review our strategy sometimes when it comes to our locations and so to real estate. Such agility also translates and translated into better management of operational risks, reducing the point of failures, and in one word, if you want, simplify and renew the technological architecture, starting from what has happened as a trigger. And all of this in a market where more and more trading is moving electronic in order to increase transparency, but also coming with an important set of regulatory requirements and the need to reduce at minimum the exposure to conduct and reputational risks, with the code of conduct playing a bigger role as we move on year after year. But also a market which has changed its collaboration behaviors with a greater and dominant role played by electronic communications and collaboration tools. The pandemic, I would say, and the social distancing forced most of us to work from home. And when we asked our FX community, our clients in a survey, which were the biggest challenges in working remotely, definitely bandwidth was a key one. I think we all experienced this at the beginning, but also market conditions and communications with colleagues and customers, with clients, which were the key ones, especially if we look at the right side of this slide for EMEA in Europe. The communication with internal and external communication was an important and relevant aspect. And yes, the start of the year was difficult. Was a difficult one, with the biggest trading challenges reported by our clients being around spreads. Normally, I mean, as expected, spreads went up, increased, and access to liquidity, which are normal and can be expected as a key element in a market that operates at faster speed and a market which is impacted by an external and I would say unprecedented big event. And when it comes to speed, this chart illustrates somehow the sharp increase of FXO quote volumes in the 6 most difficult weeks of the pandemic, of the crisis. And actually, this chart was normalized at 100% on the normal pre-pandemic average. So if you look on the right side, it's still moving faster than last year, obviously less than the 6 weeks, the most difficult 6 weeks that we had in March, with the market moving really, really fast. And in a market which is, as we said, impacted by such an unexpected external event that trades at faster speed and from home, obviously e-communication channels played and play a big role. Actually, if we park for a second what happened, if possible, right, the evolution of electronic communication channels, the evolution path was already progressing well. If you think about it, we collaborate and communicate faster today compared to a few years ago. We exchange more. Attachments are richer and heavy. We don't really care about the size anymore sometimes. We have more tools to collaborate and a greater variety, which is the important component here, of options. And I guess all of us in this room looking at our smartphones, we have at least 5 or 10 ways to collaborate embedded, right? To reach out to our colleagues or customers. And all of this with a big attention on the fourth vector, that is vulnerability. And indeed, security and privacy always played and play a big role, I would say. And this became more relevant and important with the booming of collaboration platforms, triggered by the pandemic, which saw some of the platforms growing exponentially and reducing the distance between our private and professional lives to some extent. So translating into opportunities, but also challenges. And think about Teams, think about Zoom and all the different platforms, WebEx that we currently use. Indeed, you now simply need to capture more. If you look at this from an organization, a bank or broker, a corporate point of view, you need to capture and archive more if you want to make sure you reduce your exposure to misconduct. So mail and phone may not be enough anymore, if I can put this in very simple terms. And indeed, both the normal evolution of e-coms and the pandemic new normal triggered a kind of a shift, if I may, in the paradigm of surveillance when it comes to electronic communications. The current or previous, if you want, paradigm is mainly centered around archiving. And it's kind of passive management of those risks, aiming at archiving and having the tools, the minimum tools, to prove or counterfeit a misconduct case. So if something happens, you go to that room, you listen to the recording, you watch the tickets, you discuss with your boss and the counterparty. That is the usual framework. The new environment asks for a more proactive approach, where archiving comes together with the ability to recognize patterns and prevent misconduct across all the communication channels, so allowing a real value extraction from those data sets. Otherwise, they stay archived and are used only reactively. So this translates into a more proactive management of all the risks, compliance, conduct, and finally, the reputational risk. So if I can summarize visually, the move is from a few separated archive databases, very silos-based approach, normally mail, phone, and to some extent, some usage of cloud or hosting for some platforms of collaboration, into a single point of collection, which leverages a minimum or zero IT footprint and allows to compare different sources easily, right? To really detect connections, patterns, and deliver your policy in an efficient way across all the communication channels that the organization has allowed, because let's not forget, this is also an important step to be taking. So having everything on the same line allows an analysis which is deeper, right? And if you can compare on the same line when the tickets were done, when the phone calls were done, and let's say make a comparison with fixing, timing, you can get a sense if something is moving outside of the normal conduct behaviors. And obviously, leveraging a fully hosted solution solves the problem of accessing those data in a disaster recovery scenario or in a working from home scenario, even for the compliance teams who needs to access, even if they're working remotely, the database of information that is available. And okay, I have a kind of some regulatory background, but I should say that those trends are also sustained by current regulatory frameworks, right? MiFID II is pretty clear on the recording of telephone conversations and electronic communications. And indeed, HESMA, and this is coming from the Q&A on the subject on record keeping, expect firms to record all the internal telephone calls and all the e-coms, so video, fax, email, chat systems, and through mobile devices, applications as well. Everything needs to be stored, and storage needs to be secure, obviously, allowing search functionality and the integrity of the data. And such trend is not just in the European Union, or I should say the EEA, but it's larger because MiFID plays a big role, but the same trend has emerged clearly in other jurisdictions. Think about the US and also in Asia with the recent developments on the Singapore Monetary Authority on record keeping a couple of weeks ago. And I think it's common sense to do correct record keeping beyond the rules as such. And on this note, I would say, let's not forget the market is made of humans, right? And so conduct plays a big role on, and the FX Global Code for our industry in FX is extremely clear about record keeping. With Principle 23, for those of you who have already some experience on the code, the Principle 23 on information sharing is very clear about the ability to capture and retain adequate records of the conversations, of all of what is related to the trading activity. And also the ability to enable effective monitoring of the compliance. Otherwise, it's just pure storing, pure archiving, and doesn't achieve the real objective. So I would say the FX Global Code provides us with a pretty straightforward messaging when it comes to the e-coms evolution. And while the FX Global Code is not a regulation or a set of rules, as we know, but indeed a set of global principles of good practice in the foreign exchange market, it definitely helps to improve behaviors and practices. With obviously a focus on execution, which are possibly the more famous and fancy topics, last look, non-last look, but there is also an important component on the FX Global Code, which is about risk management, which is about operational risks, and that play a very important role. And obviously, Refinitive adhered to the code at a very early stage, and we play an active role in promoting the adoption of the code itself. And even in our icon, our desktop, there is a dedicated page on the FX Global Code covering the full story and all the narrative and all the tools, including some links to the association, but also offering you the solutions, right, to meet the principles of the code itself. And also when it comes to post-trade, it's very clear. Indeed, the code, as we said, is not just about information sharing or execution. There is a lot about risk management and post-trade and the management of operational risks. And if I can now move from pure e-coms to exactly post-trade, right? Again, this was the slide we saw at the beginning, but if we move our attention to post-trade specifically, the slide doesn't change a lot, but when it comes to some topics, maybe something needs to be stressed, right? If we look at post-trade, there are some key elements that we need to stress a bit. The first one is simplification, right? This is a trend in the market. This is the real password for post-trade in the future, because architectures grew layer by layer, year after year, mostly on deployed basis, because we had the venues, we had the new streams of activity, and so those deployed infrastructure working extremely well became complex. So simplification is a key thing. And then if you think about the market in terms of fragmentation across venue, this for post-trade translates into the need to consolidate that flow of trading activity, data, feeds from all the platforms, normalizing and sharing with risk management solutions or any other third-party application you may have. And finally, the regulatory push translates into transparency objectives for the authorities. And for post-trade and mid and back office professionals, this translates into more fields, right? And so there is complexity to be handled, more fields, more data, but also using the right protocols to cope with the growth of those fields. So FIX, the Financial Information Exchange Protocol, is definitely one area to keep in mind when thinking about where the market can go, with transparency always playing a big role. And exactly to this point, and when it comes to a Refinitive key investments area in the post-trade, we reflected on those elements, and our main moves were around two areas, right? Making sure we move into fix as a standard protocol, right? Because we want to be ready, and we are ready using already fix for the future, for the market becoming and keeping this level of transparency and this important amount of fields with more to come. And the second element is full hosting, right? Because we see the need of simplifying architecture and reducing costs in the medium term. Simplifying, this is a very important element that we discovered talking to our customers, where we play a big role in the community with FX, but also with the post-trade on FX trading and our professional services, because post-trade is not a plug-and-play product. It's a solution that needs to work perfectly and 24 hours all the days, and that is an extremely important element to have the tools, to have the right tools, and to have a delivery of the solution in the best possible way. And we're continuing investing on the tracker, right? There's a new GUI now available, more advanced, more reporting, because trade processing is important, as well as the connectivity. And I was mentioned before the move into the full hosting, right? So simplification is important, and hosting, full hosting is one declination of the concept of simplification, because it simplifies, actually, if you move into full hosting, and makes you more agile. Not only, there are some cost-saving items. Think about moving into full hosting for post-trade. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means server rooms can be emptied, so space, server hardware, the racks, but also power, ticket printing, cooling systems. Sometimes you maintain those hardware and software through maintenance, through consultants. So if you avoid all of this, you can then refocus IT staff. You have less point of failures, less operational risks sources. And even from a business continuity or disaster recovery point of view, working from home is just logging via a secure connection via a browser. So it's a very it's a very simple scenario, the one you can handle if you leverage the full hosting. And with an eye on eco-sustainability, there are elements, green elements in these. Think about using less power, avoiding the printing of the tickets, using less systems that consume energy. That is also another angle to read the beauty and the benefits of this simplification. And if I can come to a conclusion, right, some final thoughts on my side. The pandemic has definitely reshaped our private and professional lives. I think we all agree, testing our current environment and accelerating the path of our digital agendas, and testing our capacity for change, because at some point we were triggered to react and be ready to continue working. And while we adjust in this new normal, I would say fragmented scenario, the keywords are continuity, resilience, but also agility, which translates often into the review and the simplification of our technological infrastructure. And while regulatory transparency requirements continue to be part of our workflows, and I would say budgets, the real driver is the level of scrutiny authorities want to see and have in place to protect the market and make it safer. That is the overall goal. Part of this safety, I think it gravitates around culture and ethics, right? And also the ability to contain misconduct and reputational risks with the focus on electronic communication channels surveillance. And actually, this concept is already well covered in several regulations, but also in the FX global code. All in all, I should say, and I would like to say, it's all about humans and behaviors, right? It's also all about data that we can extract and the technology we can leverage to improve the way we work in our workflows. And on that note, about technology, humans, and data, I would like to hand over to Wojtek, but before that, I would like to take maybe 10-15 seconds of your time to answer this very easy question. Are you interested in learning about more Refinitive solution, about our solutions? Just click a yes or no. And on that note, I would hand over to my colleague Wojtek for a deeper analysis on how Refinitive can solve a lot of those challenges. Wojtek.
Thank you very much, Vince. Good morning, all. Good afternoon. Today, I want to share with you my practical experience, which I collect from the market across the CE region. I had over 100 discussions with the clients during the year. Definitely, we are operating differently. Majority of our clients, majority of us, all from us, are working from home. A lot of us are working remotely from BCP location, disaster recovery center, but mainly speaking, we are redistributed between the sites. Because we have very non-standard times when we're living at the moment, I prepare something unusual a bit. I draw something for you just to share my experience with you and just to better describe how we are operating at the moment and how we can help as Refinitive to solve the issues. Yeah, so definitely we are not working at the bank side at the moment, but our servers are still there. So we are operating remotely from home, from GRC or from BCP center. We are operating mainly via internet. Sometimes it's really hard to build the VPN just to reach the data from the servers which are still exist on the bank side. The majority of us are using deployed architecture. However, during these times, also data centers are moved, and many of my clients are asking how to do it, and how to do it smoothly. So yes, we can reach the data which are available on the bank side. But today, I want to present all of you the two products which are fully hosted, means zero installation. Zero installation means no work for the users, no additional work for the IT. It's fully hosted on our side in our data center. So today, I will put laser focus on deal tracker service and Refinitive compliance access. Both of them, as I said at the beginning, are hosted and they are really easy to operate and they are really easy to access. So how it is working from the practical point of view? Refinitive, let's start with Refinitive Compliance Archive. The solution is fully hosted, delivered with our partner, Global Relay. So all the solution is hosted in private data center. We have a huge experience. So we are supporting 22 of the top 25 global banks. We have customers in over 90 countries. And the solution was marked as a best solution by Gartner advisors. And we are included in the Gartner Magic Quadrant as a leader for enterprise information archiving for 5 years. Maybe you know our product. So if you have something like Icon Messenger Archive, which was called RMT, or Thomson Reuters Messenger Compliance before, now we can deliver because of excellent experience, because of feedback, positive feedback from many clients. We decide to extend the offer, and we can archive for you not only Icon Messenger chats, but in terms of Posttrade and in terms of compliance, we are totally agnostic. It means that we can save for you, archive for you the over 50 communication channels like Icon Messenger, like FXT, dealing and matching chats and tickets, like Bloomberg chats, like ICE chats, or different broker solution, phone calls, mobile phones, etc. This slide is describing exactly the idea. It's a bit complicated, but I think it will help understand perfectly how it is working. So, as I said, we can integrate over 50 different communication channels, put everything to one single archive. Keeping everything in one single archive is very comfortable, because if you want to generate the report of, if you want to monitor online the communication channels, it's really good to have everything in one single place. It's also bring the cost synergies. In terms of integration of these communication channels and this archive, we have a lot of out-of-the-box ready plugins which can help easily integrate the solution for you without any costly integration part. The product is operating with 4 key pillars. So you can create, based on the keywords, you can create the policy, and all communication channels will be monitored by the keyword. So if the keyword appears during the conversation, you will receive a notification email. Of course, people are very creative, so on top of this, we are offering something like manual operating with the cases, like case management, and we are offering very powerful advanced search. So it's very quick, it's very powerful, and it's operating with huge amount of data and receiving giving us the results in few seconds maximum. On top of this, we have also analytics tools which can visualize the search results. Some screenshots from our system. If you know how it looks like, how Outlook is working, you already know how to operate with this tool. So we have something like zero installation, web-based GUI, which is in Outlook style. You have something like inbox when you're collecting all information from all communication channels. If you have put some search on it, it is highlighted not only in the subject but also in the body of the email and in the attachments. On top of this, you have filters. If you want to search for something very specific or specific person, it's only a few clicks and you can generate the proper report. The visualization part is also helpful when you want to discover something like very nice report for the people which are responsible for the compliance, for example. As I said at the beginning, everything could be monitored automatically without the people engagement. It's based on the keywords. So you have something like predefined whitelist, blacklist. You can import it, you can export it, translate to the local language, work a little bit on it, and operate with your own custom whitelist and blacklist, the list of the keywords which are related to the policy. The case management is also very simple because every single message is automatically rated. If it is under the policy, it's automatically pinned to the policy, and you are receiving the notification email. Of course, if you have a lot of cases which are not recognized automatically, you can do it manually and implement the correct workflow which is already on your side. Dashboard review is very helpful if you want to summarize and if you want to log in and start the day. Just double check what communication channel is currently in use, what people, which persons are responsible for the biggest traffic and for the biggest utilization of the particular communication channel. It helps you to understand how the people are operating, and it's not only about archiving, it's also about online monitoring. Based on my experience, I choose for you something which is hot topic at the moment. So majority of my clients from CE are asking definitely about the recording because of regulations, internal and external, recording, archiving the FXT dealing and matching, conversations and tickets, Icon Messenger, Bloomberg chats and emails, phone calls, mobile phones and SMS, and some broker solution like ICE chat, for example. The good thing is that you don't need to buy everything. So every communication channel is licensed separately. It helps you to build cost-effectively solution, which at the end of the day you are paying what you really need. So, but of course, if we can bring some kind of aggregation of the communication channels, it's called a bundle on our site, and it brings a cost synergies. Okay, let's move to the transaction monitoring. So this is our new product, new service, which is called Deal Tracker service. This is the evaluation of the well-known on the market, our flagship Posttrade solution, which is called Deal Tracker Suite. This solution is record-keeping, the next generation of the record-keeping solution for dealing, matching, FXO, and over 120 different platforms like single bank platforms, brokers, etc. It's fully hosted, and it's fully integrated with Icon. So based on my experience, based on discussions with the clients, it's helping you fulfill the record-keeping requirement, which is related to the MiFID II regulation. But it helps also different people to operate on the daily workflow. So. It helps you also the archive keep everything in the one single place for the 7 years, and it helps you for creating the reports. Doesn't matter if it's external reporting or internal reporting, but it is very helpful. The solution is very helpful for many people from many departments. It's not only about the compliance, but also the treasury people are coming back with very positive feedback. A lot of positive feedback from the back office people and middle office, and of course IT is also providing very good feedback because of easy deal tracking in the company. How it looks like from the practical point of view. Deal Tracker service is working like a dedicated Icon application. So if you have Icon and your Icon is working, definitely you don't need to do anything more. You need to only install the Deal Tracker application. For this, you need to be correctly permissioned. But if you don't have Icon, you can reach the data via regular Chrome web browser. So you don't need to install anything, or doesn't matter if you choose Icon or if you choose Chrome web browser, you will be moved to the landing page. So you will have access to all deals with detailed view, and you will have some work. You can put some workflow on this. If you click on the particular deal, you can have something like detailed view. So you have a detailed view about the ticket part and the conversation part, which is extremely valid not only for the dealers but also for the back office people, just to better understand what is inside and what was agreed. If you move to the detailed view about the particular conversation, you will receive a summary about all information which are valid for many people, many departments. You have also something like MiFID II reporting fields, like correct timestamps and all information which are extremely valuable for the reporting. Something many clients is asking about the integration with risk position system, because they can see the deals in the risk position keeping system, and they have very specific ticket number, deal number, conversation number. So yes, it's possible we can integrate it, and you can have something like our unique ID of the deal or the information about the ticket number from the exposure scientific system or back office system or front office system. Something which is extremely powerful. This is search. So if you wanna prepare the report, you are able to use the search together with the filters. So you can prepare any report just in few clicks. You will have access to all data, and you can click and prepare the report. If you have the report ready, there is something like the favorite feature from the back office people. After the day, at the end of the day, they're logging in, creating the report about all deals, and exporting it to the CSV file. This file can help them analyze the data if everything is okay. This is something like manual check if this is something like manual reconciliation, but it could be also, let's agree, semi-automated solution for the different systems. So you can export it and import to a different system, just to double check if something is missing or everything is okay. The next question, the common question from the clients is, can we integrate it somehow with the email? Because we want to avoid the situation that you are printing. So as I draw for you, we are operating remotely mainly, and we have no access to the printers. So from the historical reasons, it was organized like on paper, but now everybody is asking about the emails. So the tracker service is fully compatible with Outlook email flow. In a few clicks, you can export any ticket, any conversation, and send to the proper people, to proper department. Something which is also very nice feature. The product is very simple in operation, but it's really smart. The smart application helps you, for example, discover the deals with under the unfinished conversation. So let's assume that we have something like a conversation, dealing conversation, which is not properly finished, with no proper structure, etc. But still, anyway, someone is calling and asking where is the deal, why it is not sent to the back office. So everybody can easily log in and double check what's happening, and our smart application help you discover the possible deals which are not automatically recognized, but however the conversation sounds promising, and maybe this is something like not finished conversation. This product was evaluating from the deal tracker server, so it was built together with our clients since many years, like over 15 years on the market. Definitely, it was built together with our clients, and it covers the needs. We, based on our experience, we create very nice product, which is of course well designed. However, we are offering, we do believe that maybe you want to customize this product a bit more. You need to have your current view, maybe you have your favorite settings, and we are allowing this, and this product is, you can simply customize it by changing the views, map the proper fields, and you can build your own reports, which are extremely valid to your workflow. Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you very much. Before I pass the microphone to Henrietta, I want to ask you if you need any feedback, any help from our side, if you need any additional information. If you want to ask us about some additional materials, I'm more than happy to join and describe you everything deeply and help you understand how it could be deployed on your side. Thank you very much. Henrietta, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Wojciech. Thank you very much, both of you, for the presentation. I trust that it was really interesting for the audience. To the questions, let me start with Vince. So the first question, based on your experience, what are the main reasons a surveillance system is adopted for the e-communications? Isn't archiving enough?
Well, yes. No, thanks for the question, because it's a good one, because it's always about why, right? Why shall the bank or the organization adopt an e-surveillance system for electronic communication? I would say there are mainly three reasons why we should do this, right? And to some extent, we went through this in the presentation, but it's mainly about, in some jurisdictions, there is a requirement, right? There is a regulation or a specific obligation to do record keeping across, right, the different electronic communication channels. And given the importance and the rise of e-coms in the recent months, this is definitely evident, right? The other angle is internal policies or FX global code adoption. You really want to have policies for monitoring and do surveillance on all the communication channels you have in your organization. And the third reason is, obviously, at some point, authorities intervene and they ask for a scrutiny or they do investigations, and this determines two factors. You need to reply faster than you can do if you need to, let's say, ask 3 different databases. And most importantly, some of those investigations end up in fines, right? So the importance of those fines, to me, justify the investment into kind of an insurance policy, right? Which is a surveillance tool that can prevent or diminish the exposure to this kind of risk, which is not only material in terms of a fine, in terms of money, but also reputational.
Thank you, Vince. Moving on to the next one. What is your view on the FX Global Code adoption? Does it really make a difference?
Yeah, I guess it's for me the FX Global Code of Conduct, right? It's a code of conduct, and I think we never should forget that this market is made of humans. So while we can have technology and regulations helping to protect the market, it's all about how we behave. So I think it plays an important role because it works on the culture and the ethics of the way we do business. Adoption is improving. We have more than 1,000 organizations in the global index. The reason why I think it's important, it's not just the adherence, but the fact that in order to adhere, we go through a process of reviewing in the banks and the organizations the way we operate. That is the real investment in learning, in trainings, in upgrading the systems. And as a final consideration, I would say, I think we all agree on the fact that a principle is less exposed to obsolescence compared to a rule. A rule can change in 1-2 years, but a principle has got a different lifespan, right? And so investing in that cultural element and defining and adopting in the organization, providing learning and training those behaviors, good practices, I think it's key to keep going in the right direction with a safe and safer market.
Thank you, Vince. Thanks a lot. Next one, I believe, is for Wojciech. The question is, will I be able to upload history in Refinitive Compliance Archive from my existing archive?
Yeah, perfect question. Thank you very much for this. Yes, definitely. Yes, it's possible. This is fully hosted solution. However, if you have existing record keeping solution or archive solution, we can upload the history to the RCA. This is fully on our side, so you don't need to care about this. We will take care about everything. We have experience, we have the proper connectors, and this is fully on our side.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Wojciech. Another one for you. Do I need any integration work for the Refinitive compliance archive deployment?
Of course. Excellent question. Yeah, as I saw on my complicated slide, we can integrate for you over 50 different communication channels and put everything to the one single archive. This is the approach. And I mentioned that we have a lot of connectors which are ready out of the box. It seems because of many years of the experience, we collect something like the huge number of tools, and this is again fully on our side. So you don't need to spend too much time on it. You don't need to spend too much money on it. Definitely, this is on our side, and based on the boarding process, we can integrate all communication flow and pass it to the archive using our tools, and you don't need to invest on the costly integration part.
Thank you, Wojciech. Next question. Our Posttrade leverages your ticket output feed, TOF. What will happen to this one?
Well,
okay.
Go for it, Wojciech.
Yeah. So this is excellent. This is excellent question too. So we are not announcing end of life. But as we said, of top format, but as we said, we are extremely focused on the FIX protocol. So FIX is the market standard at the moment, and because of a strong push from our client side, we decided to invest on this FIX. So we are part of this organization at the moment, which are promoting the FIX standard. So the organization which associate the banks, the financial institutions, but also the central banks, governments, and huge companies. Definitely, this is a new standard, and we should be focused on the FIX more, or on the FIX only. The FIX is offering for us, for all of you, the full coverage of all Posttrade fields, regulation fields, I mean, and we are discovering a lot of new numbers of new instruments. That's why we have new fields, and everything is progressing only on the FIX part.
Thank you, Wojciech. So 2 questions on the deal tracker service. First one, will I be able to upload transaction history from the deal tracker deployed database? And how long will the deal tracker service store Posttrade history?
Okay, so yes, definitely it's possible. So if you have any record keeping solution at the moment, of course, if you have our live deal tracker deployed, it's relatively easy. So we have the tools ready. But always it sounds like a project, maybe a very simple one if you have deal tracker server deployed. But definitely it's possible, and this is again fully on our side. Our engineers will upload the history to our hosting center, and it will be fully available on the deal tracker service. The second question related to the time. So by default, we are keeping everything for 7 years, but we can easily extend it to the time for you if it is your need. We can do it for you. But by default, mainly because of the regulations in this part of the work, 7 years is something like a default.
Thank you. Another question for Vince. Do you forecast any increase on regulatory burden in the short and medium term?
Well, it's $1 million question. For sure, there is a lot going on in terms of reviewing the current construct of all the transparency obligations defined by several regulations, right? Think about EMIR, think about MiFID II. There is a consultation now going on transaction reporting. So I think we are in a stage where after the initial rush and introduction of a lot of acronyms and obligations, now I think we are trying to consolidate, but it's very difficult to say this is going to diminish, right? So I think we have kind of reached a nice floor, but still there are other pieces coming in. So my view here would be that we can expect to keep this element, this level of regulatory burden. Maybe some areas can be more impacted in the coming futures, others less, with some better consolidation of the way we do reporting in the different regulations. One thing remains clear, as Wojtek said, with this level of regulations, fields are not going to decrease, right? And even if you trade more complex instruments, fields will increase. So having the right tools to control, but also to capture those fields with the right market standard protocols like FIX is a key element of this process and regulatory push.
Thank you so much for your insight, Vince. At this point, we don't have any more questions on the Q&A chain. I would like to thank you both very much for these exhaustive presentations on these very, very interesting topics. Thank you also for the participants for joining us today. We will be sending out the slide decks to the ones who attended the presentation. With this, I close down this webinar. Thank you, everyone, once again. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.